Hey everybody, 8-Bit Josh here, and welcome back to Wildlife World, which is our highly detailed, realistic zoo build. And so yeah, we're playing in sandbox mode, and if you've watched the last few episodes, but as you probably guessed from the title of this episode, we are working on a nocturnal house, which is making use of the exhibits in the game, which we have not used yet in our zoo, and this was actually on my mind for probably like almost right away when I decided to, when I was putting my ideas together for this zoo. I was like, well, I gotta have, like a reptile kind of house, that you see in the zoos. And it also just so happens that Planet Zoo, as of the time that I'm recording this, is actually running a contest for an exhibit blueprint. So I'm actually going to be submitting this as a entry for that contest, which means it's also going to be up on the Steam Workshop, which you can actually go there and download right now if you'd like. The link to my workshop is down in the description, and it's in the description for all of my videos. So if you're ever wondering about what I have up on the workshop, pretty much all of my videos will have a link to my Steam Workshop. Or at least all of my Planet Zoo videos will link to my Planet Zoo Workshop. If you check like a Planet Coaster video, I link to my Planet Coaster Workshop. But anyway, so I wanted to make the exhibit, kind of look on the outside a little bit of just sort of like a generic building, but then as you saw at the top of the video, it sort of has like a really cool sort of rocky entrance that kind of arches over the entryway. And then another thing I wanted to do on the inside is make it, at least I feel like when you go into these kind of like exhibit nocturnal type houses in zoos, they always have a lot of foliage and plants and things to really kind of bring the outside in, sort of. You have all your plants and your flowers, and I just thought it'd be really fun to just kind of go crazy, because if you know me, if you've seen enough of my like Planet Coaster videos at least, I like to go crazy with the foliage and rocks and just kind of really going all out with that. So like I said, is trying to bring the outdoors inside, and I think that worked out pretty well. I did place a couple like actual trees inside. I feel like, in most cases the trees would probably be fake if you were to go to like a real zoo, but obviously Planet Coaster and Zoo, they don't have, quote unquote fake trees and things in the game. But yeah, so then also, like I said, the outside sort of is meant to look like a generic building, but then the inside, super themed out. I'm using the rock textures all over on the walls to sort of give it that, more natural look. Not really necessarily meant to be like you're inside of a cave, kind of like what we did in the last episode with the indoor wolf habitat, like viewing area. But I didn't want just like the same wall pieces on the inside, so that's why I used the rocks. And then another thing, I feel like the like nocturnal houses like this, they're always like really dark on the inside, but then they have very precisely placed lights, so it's not so dark that you can't like see where you're going, but it just gives off like a really cool, just sort of atmosphere look. And you'll actually see more of it when we get into the real-time gameplay, but I did spend a lot of time making sure that it's sort of like dark and like atmospheric on the inside, and just has like the right amount of accent lighting. And you see a little bit here, like I put some like little lights in with like the plants, but then we also do some lights kind of coming off from the ceiling, shining down, and yeah, it all works really well. Here you can see I'm just kind of like I'm trying to place, because I want the ceiling to be at a good height, and so I was just trying to make sure that I have the lights in the ceiling at the right level. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. It looks pretty good. And of course I had to get some of the informational boards in there, as well as the exhibit, which you can see there. Kind of gives you a little info on what's inside that specific exhibit. But yeah, I think that pretty much does it for the time lapse. So let's go ahead and jump into the real-time gameplay. Okay, and here we are. You can see the finished sign for our nocturnal house, and I did a little bit of theming on the outside, not too much. I just tried to, I don't know, kind of mix different themes a little bit, because you know, the nocturnal house contains animals or exhibit animals from different areas of the world. So I just tried to sort of include different stuff. And actually, I like the nocturnal house sign with like the little silhouette snake. And I also put the same sign over here. We just have like a little silhouette frog on that side. But yeah, this is the, you can see what I was talking about, where the outside of the building just looks like, you know, kind of generic on the outside, but then the inside is really, really themed. And this is, so you can see this is the finished product here. This is our exhibit. So one thing I didn't go over was like the different types of animals we have in our exhibit. So like for instance, right here we have a boa constrictor. We actually have, well, we only have one in there at the moment. So actually in between the time lapse and what you're seeing now, I had a live stream, and all of my exhibit animals gave birth, like they all got pregnant and gave birth at the same time. And they're like, uh-oh, hold on, gotta take care of this. Can't have them fighting over alpha status. Hold on, who is our, Wakefield is our, we're gonna release you to the wild. There we go. But yeah, all of our exhibit animals during the live stream all got pregnant and all gave birth at the same time. And when they have babies, they don't just have like one or two, they have like 10. So it was like crazy. I was getting overrun, and then like their welfare was going way down. So I had to get that under control, and basically I assigned 2 zookeepers to the exhibit building, and their only job is to watch over and maintain this building. So yeah, we have a boa constrictor there. Here we have a eastern brown snake, which we have a couple right there. Over here we have a common death adder, which is like, it's like the most evil sounding name ever. Here we have the Amazonian giant centipede. We have the Brazilian salmon pink tarantula, which we were looking for during the live stream. It was actually really hard to find them. I think, is that one right there? It looks like one. There we go. Yeah, see, there's a tarantula right there. Over here, we have a giant forest scorpion, which also really hard to find. And then here we have a couple green iguanas. So we've got this guy right here. Look at him. He's so cool looking. And then over here, we have a couple Gila monsters, which they like to hide out. Well, there's one. We were finding like he liked to hide out in this like little kind of miniature cave thing under the rocks there. But yeah, so this is our exhibit, and I think it just turned out really cool. And then if we, so we're going around over here, we look at it at nighttime so you guys can see what it looks like at night. So there you can see like I used some different colored lighting, and we have like these light sculptures up here, like the little branches kind of outlining it. And then like, I feel like nocturnal buildings like this, they're always dark right in front of the exhibits because the inside of the exhibits are always lit up so you can see them. But then it's sort of darker on the outside. And then as you come around, it gets a little brighter. We got, you know, the building looks a little bit more generic on the inside here. We've got some more educational boards, and then yeah, and that's it. That's our nocturnal house. And like I said, it is available on the Steam Workshop. So if you want to download it and add it to your own zoo, you can do that right now. There was a good update that came out, so we finally were able to finish our entrance sign. We got the letter D, which is, it's so odd that that was just like missing like that. But yeah, we finally have Wildlife World. So in case you didn't watch the second episode and you're coming here from the first episode, and I had a small little kind of just, hey, guess the name of our zoo. It was pretty easy. Other big thing we did is we finally themed out our little backstage area. It's like our little kind of staff center. Again, using the sort of generic metal wall pieces, which I think just give it sort of just that like little office building kind of sort of industrial look to it. I'm also really proud of, we made like a fake little patio area for our staff. So like we have like a little pathway here. It comes around and they can come here and just sit and relax on their, you know, lunch break or whatever they want to do. Obviously not real. The staff won't actually use that, but you know, in being that we're trying to make our zoo, you know, realistic and, you know, something that you would see in a real zoo, that's why we did that. I still don't know what we want to do because this is, you know, pretty blank right here. I don't know if I want to just put, maybe we build like another building. It doesn't actually do anything, but sort of matches this and put it in this corner. Or maybe we just use some more nature and foliage and stuff back here. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we did. I did this fancy little wooden bridge for our staff and like a little waterfall. Because it was like, you know, just because it's only going to be seen by our staff doesn't mean it can't look cool and nice and themed. It makes you happy to work in this zoo. But yeah, so I mean that's pretty much it. That's where we're at, and I think, you know, with the exception of finishing off this little corner of the backstage area, I think our North American area is done. Oh yeah, I also did this. It's kind of like our little learning center kiosk we made. It's not much, but it's just like a little something something here. Add a little extra value to our zoo. But yeah, so I mean, I think pretty much our North American area is done. You know, I don't know if there's going to be any like DLC animals in the future that'll be, you know, like from the North American area. So we may, you know, as we expand, try to keep some areas open. So if we by chance get to expand the North American area, we can do that as well. And then I think I mentioned in the last episode, but we're going to start the Asian area next, and that's going to come off this way. But yeah, so that's, you know, kind of where we're going to be at then. And I think that's pretty much it for now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video today. Hope you guys are liking, you know, kind of the format that I'm doing with these videos, with like the time lapse at the beginning so you can see the building, but then also kind of giving you like a real-time update. Oh, we got some infighting here. Hold on, let's find our alpha. Release to the wild! Ta-da! We had like, I forget, something like 7 baby antelopes in here. Like our antelope herd has grown massively. I mean, you can still see it's so huge. Oh, we have another male, or is that the same male? Oh yeah. We're gonna release you to the wild. Trying to get rid of, because they only like one male. And so we had all these babies and now they all matured. So they always start fighting with each other. So yeah, that pretty much does it for this episode. So as always, be sure to leave your comments, suggestions, and feedback down below. I am 8-Bit Josh, and thanks for watching. See ya.